Bam! Happy Friday. Although, wow, it is raining hard out there. Damn, that screws my morning up. I hope we're all good. Yesterday was a bit of an odd one. I haven't looked really at any charts since yesterday morning. I'm not really sure what happened. I had a little turn and then ended up sleeping for the whole of yesterday. So I woke up at 6:30 this morning, feeling rested and rejuvenated, but my body clearly needed a rest. My computer's gone into a little meltdown mode quickly because I've only just turned it on. So let's just give that just a quick second to speed up. There are a few things I want to look through, namely the US dollar. That seems to have gained a little bit of strength overnight and throughout yesterday. So I want to visit Euro USD and gold very quickly. I also want to run through Aussie yen, Euro CAD, and I want to look through pound New Zealand and pound Oz. Gold first and foremost then. If we take a look at gold, obviously we were talking about the possibility to come up and retest that one at 1740 region. Wow. To come up and retest that 1740 region. That obviously occurred and immediately we have seen a sell-off. We hit into that region. We spoke about it yesterday morning, coming to test that area. We failed to break above. Pushed back down to the downside. We look like we're making fresh lows. I think the 17 whole number is extremely key here. I think we can bounce from 17 all the way back to 40, if not higher. However, if we break through 17, then I think I want to say 1670, but probably lower. Yeah, I mean, you've got to say that 1670 is your first port of call into that region, and then obviously where we go from there is very dependent. I think it depends how you look at the stimulus bill. I think that stimulus bill is going to be the catalyst to some dollar strength. We start to see a little bit of unity coming out of there now. In which case, down to 16 looks highly probable, probably in the next week or two. But we'll see. The 17 number needs to go for any potential downside. Anytime we're above that region, if we look on the 4-hour time frame, we've made that higher high. That would be the ideal place, the perfect place to see a higher low form. Therefore, a bounce from 17 will probably likely lead back to 1760. So we shall definitely sit on the sidelines for now. If you're already in a short, then fair play. Ride that down. Make sure you're prepared to take profit at any given point. I think if we fail to break, then it's a pretty quick return back to the upside. You can see through here the amount of noise that we've got, which is what we're struggling to get for at the moment, is these spikes, these little liquidity zones. So when we're struggling to get through these, the chances are that we come through it and crash straight into 17 whole number. That will happen probably in about 30 minutes to an hour. It will be a very, very quick and sharp movement if that does occur. If we fail to get through there, then that will act as support. that will probably likely see us head back towards 1720. And I was talking with some of my guys last night, saying that 1720 is the region to get below, but that was just a quick analysis off my phone. I wasn't actually looking at a chart, but getting below that 1720 region was obviously a very key thing for the pair. That does seem to have occurred now. We've came back, retested that zone, and sort of push away from there. So treating that as a breakout has worked wonderfully. We're now back inside of this little range. So back inside this consolidation region that we've seen before. So naturally a break below takes you to 17. The failure to break takes you back towards 20 and then 40 and up from there. So learning from history, this is going to be quite a key level for us going into the rest of this morning. And then obviously seeing if we can break as a result of that, see if we can get back through at some point today. We shall see. We will just keep an eye on things as they go. But yeah, I think as things stand, those are the areas to be mindful of. They're the only areas that we can keep watch on. And then obviously we just go from there. Euro USD. We've obviously seen the dollar gain some strength. We can see that within the gold chart. We can also see that here. The euro also in itself doesn't look particularly strong this morning. Euro yen is another one I want to look at actually. That presents quite an interesting opportunity by the looks of things on face value too. With Euro USD at the moment, just want to pull that across. Again, we're hinging on that 119.20 region. Obviously, we said the other morning that if we were to break back above that 20 region, then that push up to the whole number was highly likely. I don't think we hit as high as that. I think if we come to the highs, we hit 90. But close enough. We've then obviously seen a turn back to the downside. Back below 1920 gives you that option for 1880. Again, the 4 hour looks nice for that potential retest of the area of breakout and a continuation to the downside. Daily looks good for it. I think the dollar strength prevails. I think below 119.20, I'd probably be pretty content to look to take a short. Let's take out the previous lows and then look to short Euro USD. I think into today that holds quite a lot of potential. I'm relatively comfortable with shorting that position at the moment. I think the dollar looks strong in most places. We just need to get below that region. Get below that 1920 region, and I think we've got a short on our hands with Euro USD. Naturally, failure to break these lows, these previous lows, and a failure to break through that 1920 region just leads us into thinking that 120 is probably the likely scenario. Just want to come out and see what the weekly is looking like. A complete indecision. So daily, we're definitely not going to get a Friday close back down towards much lower than 1880, I wouldn't imagine. It might be something that we have to leave, to be honest, if you're not already in it from the whole number. Just because below 118.80, which is where we would look to target that, the chances of the pair getting back much below that level, so from 20 to 80 you've got 40 pips, you're going to probably need a 40 pip stop loss. I don't think we've got enough in it to be able to go much lower than that as things stand. What we opened here, so we've already done 50 odd pips. Yeah, I don't think we go much lower than 1880 today. So that is something that we need to be extremely mindful of. Euro CAD, we're back below the 50-50 region that we were speaking about yesterday. Shorts all the way down. We're starting to get to a point where we might break through the previous lows through here. So if we can get through the lows at the 50 whole number, then obviously we have the potential then to take a position through that zone. We just need to get past the whole, through the whole number. I think at 90 I would be pretty content to look to get involved in a short position. That looks like it's running quite nicely. Aussie yen I wanted to talk about. The yen looked to strengthen up a little bit first thing this morning, which looked quite nice. That seems to have run its course, and it seems to be returning to the upside, which means that CAD's gaining strength there as well. So I think what with regards to that as a potential for us as traders, I might be tempted to have a quick scan over Euro Oz also in just a moment, and see how that is progressing. We'll keep an eye on things and see how they go for now. But Euro CAD below that 50 region, so if we can get down towards kind of 90 or 80, that would be amazing. Euro USD, like I say, I think we need to get below the lows. I think the chances of bouncing from the 20 region are quite high, but that again presents itself with a decent or a reasonable opportunity. Gold we've already spoke about. Euro CAD, let's just go through and have a look at Euro Oz. Whoa, look at that. Previous 30 minutes looks absolutely lovely for it, doesn't it? That break below 154. Obviously, we looked at the head and shoulders pattern that we had seen form earlier in the week from the 80 region, so shoulder, that we were able to take a position from, which was lovely. I did close out of my Euro Oz short. In hindsight, we could have held below the 25 region. However, we look to be getting a short option now. We're rejecting away from the previous support level. I'm going to look to enter this on the 30 minutes if this closes weak. Missed the prime opportunity with that shooting star there, but we failed to break the highs. The logical place for this to head now is down towards the 70 level, and then obviously we'll see where we go from there. But it looks like the euro might be weakening off this morning. So Euro Oz, Euro CAD and Euro USD are all presenting some potential that I think we do need to be very mindful of. Pound CAD, what's that saying? We broke through the 75-30 region, the support yesterday, and we just floated around that for most of the night, to be fair. We started to make a move now. Unless you're already in it, then there's not really a position now. We'd need to wait until the 80 level gets taken out. 80 down to 74.40, which is what we were talking about before. That is obviously a key thing for us to get back through that 74.40. I don't see that happening this week, if I'm honest. But to get back through that 40 level is going to be major. Oh my god, coffee tastes so good. To get through that region is going to be major for us. So I think if we got through the 80 level, I'd be quite content to take a short position, look to hold over the weekend possibly. I can't see that anything drastic is going to come out over the weekend that's going to cause us to gap anything more than 20-30 pips on the pair. So I'd be relatively content with holding over the weekend, looking for 74.40 to be taken out. Pound Swiss franc still not particularly strong. Obviously failed to break the lows. Failing to break the high though at the moment would obviously be a big move for us. If we fail to break through this previous high, then we could expect to see 129 tested. That would be massive for the pair. The Swiss franc, no, like we strengthened up yesterday off the back of some fundamentals, but in the actual truth, like it's not like we've seen when GDP was calculated, re-evaluated. We saw that push down, but the failure to get through 29 yesterday was obviously a big thing for us, considering the support that it has held previously. However, getting back above these highs at the moment doesn't really interest either. I think we've got to wait for 130 to go to be able to want to take any long positions on pound Swiss now, unless you're already in it. What do I say? Aussie yen, Euro yen was what I wanted to look at. Euro yen, again, when I woke up this morning, it looked like we were rejecting away. We've seen, obviously, some fresh positions come into the market, break the highs. It's not really a trade there, to be honest, unless we can now get below the lows. You can see through here, this little zone, this little area acting as support for us. We would need to crash below 130 in order to want to take a position. It's only 20 pips away, so we will keep an eye on that. Again, the yen doesn't seem to be in any hurry to gain any strength though. So we just need to be a little bit careful and mindful around that at the moment. Let's just alert it. 130. Euro CAD. Add alert. 149.80. Euro USD. Add alert. 119.20. Gold, couldn't care, not interested in taking a position on that this morning. Pound CAD. Add alert. 80, there we go. Pound New Zealand. Failure to break the highs. We saw a flood of liquidity come in. Yesterday, obviously, we were involved in the short yesterday morning as a result of the break of the consolidation. Bank the profit on that. Actually, I think I might have been stopped out for break even. I don't think I closed it quick enough. I think I was stopped out for break even while I was sleeping. But we are starting to look towards the possibility of what the either outcome at the moment. Obviously, if we can get and close back below 94, so 93.80, I would say, be pretty good to take a short position. If we also then look, obviously we've got the potential to break through that consolidation low at 93.30. If we can get through there, then obviously we have a position also. I think the likely scenario at the moment is to just watch out for this potential range. Anywhere around previous highs, previous lows would be the optimum place to be looking for a trade. A break from the upside obviously leads us into quite a substantial drive back into the whole number. So kind of 198 to begin with, then obviously 2 and into that whole number there. So a lot of potential there for that if it does occur. We need to get out of that 94.50 region though. If we can't break back out of that region, then obviously we turn our attentions to shorts. Back down towards 192, 190, 150. We keep an eye on that as it progresses though. Gold looks like it is breaking. Euro USD can't make its mind up. Pound CAD, that's fine. Euro CAD rejected. That's fine. Euro yen not doing a lot. Euro Oz. Just want to keep an eye on these things as we come into the London Open. Probably likely see a little correction coming to the pair. I think Euro Oz, you come back up to 54.20, and then obviously you've got options either above or below that level. From here, though, obviously we will potentially look for that drive back down towards the lows. Obviously a very important level around here. So I think we just have to wait and see. Obviously we've still got 10 minutes of this candle still to go before we can get any real indication. I think the euro continues to weaken off though. I also wanted to look at pound Oz, didn't I? Tell me when it kicks in. Just want to come out to the higher time frames. Starting to see that we're in a little bit of a bullish mode. Apparently we've already got an alert set at the 70 level, which is ideal. What have we got here? Right, let's have a look. Let's just delete that. Very, very choppy, isn't it? Very consolidation bound. Almost got like a little channel situation going on here. So this little wedge that's occurring. So I think if you were to get the breaks above previous support through here, break above 80, then you've 180, and you've got the long. If you were to pop out the bottom of the consolidation at 79.40, you've got a short. As things stand, obviously we're being squeezed into this situation, so there's bound to be a pop at some point very soon. 180 and 179 seem to be the key areas that we need to be mindful of. Euro New Zealand, why is that on there? We get rid of that, but we'll have a look at Euro New Zealand. 80 or 79.40 for pound Oz are the key areas to be mindful of at the moment. Any side of those look as if they're probably going to lead to a potential opportunity for us. Let's just go through Euro New Zealand. So we broke down to 65.50, which is where that alert was that was set, that has obviously been triggered into. Euro New Zealand. Again, the short looks probable. I mean, that looks to be the most logical situation, but again, that 65.50 region is where we need to get below. If we can get below 65.50, then we have a potential position, but until that level goes, I don't really see that there is a trade as things stand. I don't particularly like the long on the pair, in all honesty. So below 65.50, obviously GN. We've got that 194.50 region that we need to be mindful of the upside. Anything though below 193.30 should lead to downside movement. Gold 17 is the number to watch. Euro USD 120 or 119.20 are the key levels for us on this pair at the moment. Pound Swiss, not a trade, not interested. Pound CAD below 174.80. 74.80 is the key level to be mindful of there. Euro CAD below 149.80 holds the keys to that. Euro Oz, I think at the moment, as long as we can get down to 153.80, then we have a potential short position. Anything above 154.20, then obviously I think we need to turn attentions to potential long positions back towards 55.50. Aussie yen still looking around those levels. Not really interested in a potential trade on Aussie CAD. That's never triggered, and so we leave that as is. So yeah, there's a lot of potential around. We just need to be a little bit mindful and play cautiously for a little bit this morning and see obviously where things go from the London Opens. Euro USD doesn't look too favourable. Euro CAD doesn't look too bad, but again, highlighting the fact that we need to get through this zone between 49.90 and 49.80. Pound CAD not showing us anything. Pound Swiss franc just taking a battering as always. Pound New Zealand looks to be relatively strong on the close. We shall see as we get towards that 50 region. I'm not interested in anything before then. I love watching the last 2 minutes of a candle, unless I'm in a position. But when you're watching the last couple of minutes, things move so quickly, so rapid, that they can change and flip on their head. It's amazing to watch sometimes. Terrible for your heart. If you've got a weak heart or a heart condition, then you shouldn't watch candlesticks. Full stop. They give you a heart attack. But in general, I think watching these positions, watching candlesticks, and watching the movement that can come in on those last couple of minutes is can be very, very interesting to watch. But yeah, in all honesty, the last 30 minutes hasn't really given too many clues. Pound looks like it might be strengthening up, but that could just be a ploy into the London Open. And then obviously we see moves from there. I think when the London session opens in a minute, we're going to see some pretty quick movements and some pretty quick pushes. Just need to kind of let those kind of go and do their thing, and then obviously go from there. But yeah, when you wait for that last couple of minutes, it takes forever, doesn't it? Alright, let's have a look. Let's have a look. See how things move. See if we get some movement. Oh, right. Anyway, I digress. The closes weren't quite as strong as we would have liked to have seen. So we will just wait them out and see what happens. This thing stand though, I think the first hour of this session will be quite interesting. Present us with a lot of clues of what's happening. The fact that we're failing to break these lows is obviously quite a big thing. Again, with Euro CAD. But we'll see what happens. Whatever you're up to today, I hope you have a good end to the week. I hope you've had a decent week. And I will catch up with people in a little bit. Got some things to attend to this morning, but we will go from there. Have a decent day, and I will catch up with you all later.